Good afternoon, everyone, or good evening, wherever you are tuning in from. So my name is Angeline Constantinou, and I am here live with Jimmy Ezzell, whom I'm going to introduce to you in a minute. So we're going to be talking about how we fired our bosses. How's that? So if you're catching the live right now, please put a hashtag live in the comments and let us know where you're tuning in from. And if you are watching the replay, please let us know by hashtagging replay in the comments. And please let us know where you are tuning in from so we can give you a big shout out. And, let's show some love. Let's smash the heart button. Okay, this is going to be really, really epic. So I'm here because we're going to be talking about how we fired our bosses, but I want to tell you a little bit about Jimmy Ezzell. Okay, so Jimmy Ezzell went from being a frustrated, overworked, stressed out employee to becoming the founder of a business that has grown into 6 continents with over 5,000 members. Instead of dreading Monday mornings, he now lives an incredible lifestyle, traveling the world, and enjoys helping others do the same. He is going to teach you how anyone can use his strategies to become their own boss. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring on Jimmy. Hi, Jimmy.
Angeline, how are you?
I am doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me, and hello to all of your friends and family and everybody in social media world.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it's 2 p.m. Eastern time. So how is the weather by where you are today? Just curious because we have a heat wave going here.
Yeah, it's warming up here as well. It's definitely warming up. 80s today. So
good. Well, I want to talk to you because, you inspire me, and I, being a member, being a founding member of this community has really changed my life. But, your story inspires me because you never realized that you were a workaholic. So please share with us, before you founded your company, where were you? Because I know that you had worked in corporate America. I think you had a high paying position and you were traveling a lot. So please share with the viewers who are tuning in today, who's Jimmy Ezzell? Who was he before?
Yeah, let me just share, if I could just share a little bit of my entrepreneurial journey, because I'm probably like most people. I was in a job, started working my way up the corporate ladder, right? And eventually, actually ran a division for a big multi-billion-dollar company. Some of you probably heard of it, called Reader's Digest. And so anyways, just start on that path. I was the very first person in our family to go to college, and my family was blown away about that. So then, of course, I just went and got a job and just started working that path. But then some things started happening to the point where I just realized that might not be the path for me long term. I was first thing, Angeline, I was many nights coming to the dinner table, and literally I was just so mentally exhausted, from working and even traveling. And just what I call giving my family the leftovers. Like I just didn't have anything left for them, and so that was happening. Then I remember one time my wife calls me in the middle of a 3-year plan at the corporate office, and she's like telling me that our oldest daughter at that time was having a really rough week, and she was only in elementary school. And I remember her saying, Ashley's having a really rough week, and I said, well, what's wrong with her? And she said, well, she says she misses her daddy. He's never home. And it was like a 2x4, like hit me across the head.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Like, oh my gosh, I'm going to end up losing my family if I don't, do something different. But the last one was when my boss, I remember my daughter had come to me asking if I could take some time off to go be with her on field day. She's a little grade schooler, right? So imagine your little princess, right, coming to you, hey, Dad, can you spend some time with me? And I remember thinking in my mind, I'd asked for 2 days off. 1 day to rest and 1 day to do this field day. And I remember asking my boss, and I remember him just telling me no. Like Jimmy, you can't do that. Like you need to be traveling, you need to get out in there in the field driving sales. And I remember that day, like it was yesterday, because I was thinking to myself, man, like here's a grown man telling another grown man that he can't even spend time with his his family, his daughter. And so that was starting that whole decision for me, Angeline, to be able to say, you know what, if this is what life's all about, like you give everything you have, you're underappreciated. I was totally overworked. I had capped out, so I was underpaid. I was capped out of my compensation. And that was the day I started thinking, hey, I need to find a different way. And started making that decision by the time I was 33, retired from corporate America, became a full-time entrepreneur, and I've never looked back ever since. And so that was the day that particular day is when I started thinking in my mind, I'm going to fire my boss. Right.
Right. I know. I mean, I've even fired in the past, I've worked in corporate America, and I know what I had an epiphany. I don't know about you, but what was that like to fire your boss? I mean, what was that feeling?
Well, the reality is this: most of us will go if we're ever even thinking about doing that. The first thing that came to my mind was, "Oh my gosh, what about my income?" Right? And we had some money in the bank, but not like it was like I was wealthy, and so that was the first thing that popped in my head. I was like, okay, hey, well, what am I going to do? Can I replace my income? And then the second thing that popped in my head is like, what do I do? Like, how do I, like if I don't have this job, how do I? So I remember even asking my dad. My dad, is a hardworking blue collar man, and he had no idea either. I was like, Dad, do I sell my house? How do I get into business? What kind of business do I buy a franchise? All these thoughts ran through my mind. I didn't know, and I think a lot of people. And then I was like, okay, well, how do I even do it? Like time wise, like. I have a full-time job, right? I had a little bit, a young daughter. You want to spend time with your family. So how do you even do that, right? And what if it fails? Like these are just things that I think we all think about if we're trying to transition into becoming our own bosses, basically. And so those are some of the things that run through my head.
Oh yeah. Oh, I can imagine. It's important to have. I know for myself, I had an emergency fund set aside, meaning you should have at least 6 months set aside. Is that true? For anyone who wants to transition into entrepreneurship, because honestly, there's not a day that goes by that, a friend will tell me, I want to fire my boss. I'm going to do it tomorrow. And then they freeze up and don't do it.
Yeah, I think there's different levels of entry point. Yes, if you have 6 months you can be able to make that decision and be done. But I think most people that we talk to and watch and that we help, there's always a little bit of a transition. Maybe they have a full-time, like me, they have a full-time job, but they need to learn some skills to be able to transition out, like really mastering their calendar and maybe working from something I call a powerless, things like that can really, you can even do it part-time. And what ends up happening is as you're building that business, that venture that you're working on, that project, well, then what ends up happening is it can start to replace your income. You can have some money in the bank. You can start to replace that income. And then it's a very comfortable decision. Like you have choices, like you have an option, right? You can then be full-time or still just make the extra money. Because now you always have a plan B in place as well.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. For people who want to transition, what would your best advice be? I know that we have a challenge that is coming up, but, for someone who is, ready to make that transition, what is your advice? What would your best advice be?
I think the biggest thing in terms of transitioning is really finding. If I would have found something like what we offer, right? If I would have found a community, some mentors, some people that have been before me, like remember I asked my dad. Like most of us don't grow up in entrepreneurial homes, right? Or someone that's been before us in business that can say, hey, you should do this, or hey, maybe carve out this time, and this is the activity that you should do, and you should be putting this part of your business plan together. You should have this type of marketing. You should, most of us don't have access to that, and so we're just like we want to do it, but then we have all these reservations of being able to jump out there because we just don't have that confidence. Most people let's think about it. I don't think if you talk to anybody that they would just like, hey, I just want to work the rest of my life in a cubicle, right? Put 40 hours in, clock in. Someone tells me when I can have lunch from 12 to 1. No, they don't. I don't think anyone raises their hand and says, that's the life I want to live. Like every day, I just want to do that. Most people are saying to themselves, I wish I had a little bit more freedom. I wish I was a little bit more in charge, right? I wish I had a little bit more flexibility. And so what the transitioning is getting some of that, the mindset and what it really takes. I think that's where I wish if I would have had some of the things that we help people with, I think it would have helped me a lot along the way as well.
I know what helped me a lot was mindset and having mentors and, working on skills. And one of the things that you talk about a lot is the power list. So the power list has really helped me, and I know you preach that all the time. So, let's talk about that for a minute. Like when you talk about the power list, what exactly is it? I mean, I know what it is, but for those of us
the reality is most of us wake up every day. We don't really have a clear direction. We have a ton of stress, and then we pile on that stress with these big to-do lists. Like we feel like it makes us feel better when we have 15 to 20 items on a to-do list. And what ends up happening, Angeline, is we don't get none of it done. We get like 2 things done, and then we're overwhelmed, and then we feel bad, and then we go down this path of self-defeat, right? And so the power list, what it does is starts to create winning habits. Okay, we start to help create winning habits because over time those habits compound. And so what we do is we teach people really like this with this power list is that you're going to start eliminating some very bad habits and creating habits that win for you every single day. And what ends up happening is if you look at 2021, if you're not winning in 2021 right now, it's probably related. Some of it's probably related to some of your habits. Okay.
Oh, I agree.
And so we do dive into that quite a bit to really help people understand that, just by a few tweaks, creating some of these power lists that can really, you start to stack those wins. And here's the biggest thing. Imagine you have a job and you've been working there and you're trying to transition out. If you don't have a real plan, you could waste a lot of time and money and effort. And so I think that's why, kind of like I'm sure we're getting ready to tell people about it is
right.
our challenge. That's what we help people with.
Good. I know, because I remember, and now I'm an entrepreneur. Okay. And I'm also a podcaster. Okay. So the Fire Your Boss Challenge helped me because I'm scaling up my business. I'm really scaling up my business. So let's talk about the challenge that is coming up next week. Okay. So, because that was, and I was traveling to New Jersey. If you recall, I attended my first local event in New Jersey. So, and I remember that night I was always showing up, I think that's really, really important. I think 90% of success is showing up.
Yeah.
Challenges,
Someone asked me this morning about like what really separates people long-term. And I think what separates people long-term is that this willingness to just keep going, to persevere, to have grit, to just have that winning attitude that you're just going to, no matter what it takes, you're going to go and get this done. You're going to win. And so the challenge that we're launching next week, okay, it's a completely free 5-day challenge. Angeline, you know how many people we've helped, thousands and thousands and thousands of people now through our challenges. This group is growing astronomically, like 5,800 people in it. And so, it really, what ends up happening is if you're someone there's 2 types of people. There's the first person like me. They're in a job. They're like, Jimmy, Angeline, what do I even do? Like how does this, like I want to, but I don't know how. I have some doubts. It'd be great if you could help coach me. This challenge is for those people for sure, 100%. Right. Majority of the people that join our challenge, that's that kind of people. And that's a huge demographic in our country and around the world. Then you have people that are already what we call bosses, right? They already have a business, but they want to level up too, or and so they want to go to that next level. So we because of the way it's formatted and our ongoing programs, we can really help people with that as well. Because we work with, as you know, tens of thousands of entrepreneurs over the years, and help them. And that's been kind of our niche is helping someone go from maybe a job to become an entrepreneur, or someone that's already an entrepreneur, and help them, really launch, grow, or scale their business as well.
All right, good. Yes. And I want to just say something. A year and a half ago, I didn't have this. I didn't have, having a 5-day challenge to transition, because I know for myself, I want to build my own dreams and not someone else's. And that's the conclusion that I drew. And then COVID hit last year, the pandemic. So,
Right.
but now it's time to scale up. So tell us, please, what the challenge includes, because, I would love to have people join us in the challenge that is coming up next week. So,
yeah. So everybody, it's going to be 12 p.m. Eastern, right? And what ends up happening is we do it during the day, but just in case because we also cover the EU, and so people can watch it. If you miss it, it's recorded, so you can catch the live. It's totally free. Now there's a couple ways for you if you want some more training, want all the recordings, want some private sessions. We give you a very, very easy option to be able to upgrade. And I think Angeline will drop it in the chat here. But the reality is this. The biggest thing out of this is that you're going to get 5 days of a real blueprint to start to move you through this journey. Okay. I mean, we literally give it all. And we have some incredible, master coaches that will be part of this challenge. Yours truly, I'll be of course hosting it and speaking. But the original Shark from Shark Tank, Kevin Harrington, James Mounchek, ABC Secret Millionaire, Ali Madal, your strategic partner. So many great master coaches that will be pouring into people all week long. We even have a VIP session. That's where you can upgrade for $47 and get extra. Get there even faster by being part of some of the VIPs, and really just having a clear plan of like I always like to tell people, hey, I want you to set your date. When will you fire your boss in 2021? Set that date, and then we just take them through that journey.
Okay, good. And I already put the link in the comments. So, but here it is, guys. So if you want to, fire your boss and learn the strategies that Jimmy has implemented, and Jimmy is changing a lot of people's lives. Now, how about overseas? You mentioned that we are in 6 continents also. So
yeah, this is open to anybody all over the world. But once again, as a matter of fact, we have people. Philippines, throughout Asia watching it, of course, all over the EU, and then, of course, here in America, North America. And so, anyone can join. Like I said, it's completely free. It's live or the replay. We do it in a private Facebook group. There's an interaction. If you're in the VIP session, there's even breakout sessions. So it's very, very engaging. We really want you to come get what you were looking for inside this challenge.
All right, good. Perfect. So you know what I want to do? I was trying to get to the comments, but now wait, hold on 1 second. Okay. So let's just see who is tuning in. Let's give some shout outs. So Irfan Ahmed is here, and I believe he's in Germany. Tuning away from Germany. Okay. You're welcome, Irfan. Really appreciate you tuning in. Pam lives in Arizona. So,
nice.
And here's Dorinda from Ireland. Great to see you here, Dorinda. So here is the link right here. So I put it in the comments. So that is the link to sign up. Now, does anyone receive any bonuses when they sign up?
Yeah. Well, the reality is this: we have a lot of. If you upgrade to the VIP, there's bonuses, right, as you get. But just know this: the challenge itself. I mean, if we were to do a course or something, think about this: a 30-minute session with Kevin Harrington, a 30+ minute session with James Malinchak. 30 some. I mean, you get all week with me. I mean, these are just that, and we don't charge. So that's the bonus you get. Because I always tell people, we know without a doubt this. I mean, we have so many testimonials, as you know, Angeline, like video testimonials, written testimonials of people that have truly had their lives changed through a challenge. We don't pitch everybody, like sometimes you go to these events and they pitch you every, day one, day two, they're just constantly trying to sell you. No, here we want to pour into you so that way you can, start to make that decision. And then, I'll be frank, we do offer you an opportunity to keep going on with us later in the challenge. If we've done our part and we've helped you maybe make some things clearer, maybe give you a real blueprint for doing that, hey, why would you not want to continue on with us, right?
I agree. That's what I love about your community and your leadership, because you're providing almost $20,000, I would say over $20,000 in value. And I know that people have invested, $20,000 in masterminds, but the value that you get, that you give is, I know is for me, I mean, worth over $20,000. And, so it's really amazing. So any closing remarks? I'm really, thank you for taking the time to, talk to my viewers today and to just share your story, share your backstory, because I know your story inspires me, especially when your wife said, honey, are you even here right now? And that was before.
Not proud of those moments, but that's just part of the journey. So, I think I just close with this, Angeline, for everybody watching this. If there's something inside of you that's brewing and you're saying to yourself, like, man, Jimmy, Angeline, there's definitely something more in my life, something more that I want out of life, then join us on this challenge. Let's help you let's help you discover it. Let's help you uncover it. Let's have a real, blueprint plan for you to be able to make that transition, on your time, but just join us. We do it at 12 o'clock. It's a quick hour. If you do the VIP, you can stay on for that. But the reality is, what if it changes your thinking just a little, where you're like, man, I can do this. And that decision changes the trajectory like it did for me. Okay. Think about this. I could have stayed and been miserable. Probably would have cost me my marriage.
Wow.
And my family unit, this family that I so love and adore and so close with. What if that trajectory had been different? So many of us every day, we have to start to make some decisions to better our lives. And I think one of them will be, if you join us on this challenge, we hope to be in the trenches with you, and we'll do it together.
Great. Awesome. Yeah, we don't do life alone. This is a family and this is a community. So, Jimmy, I want to thank you for taking the time for joining us today. So for those of you who are watching the live or watching the replay, the link is posted right here in the comments. So please click on that link to sign up. And, you will, for the 5-day challenge, it will start on Monday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And I know we have a lot of people overseas too, like London and, who will be, tuning in. So I thank you for being here today. Really, really appreciate it, Jimmy. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I know you're a busy guy. I know you're busy and you're but carving this extra time means a lot. Thank you.
My pleasure. Thanks, Angeline.
You're welcome. And everyone, enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.